This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. We are ready to go. Rosendo just sent out, wow, the Playboy Club. That takes me back. They didn't close that in the mid-'80s. Yeah, they closed it in the 80s. Yeah. I actually had an uncle that worked at the Playboy Club. And it was off of Biscayne in like 74th or 5th or something like that. And we would go pick him up, right? He didn't have a car. So my mom would go pick him up. And every time I would go and pick him up, he'd get out of the Playboy Club. And when he'd walk out, he'd always have a present for me. And yeah, it was like Playboy cards or whatever, because they always had some kind of a toy that had like, the Playboy girl on it and all that, or the bunny or whatever. It was actually pretty cool, pretty funny. Somebody mentioning the Playboy Club from back in the days. Alan, do you remember the days when you used to peruse through the Playboy Club there on Biscayne Boulevard?
I can't say I never frequented that fine establishment. I do believe for some reason I remember driving by it
long time ago
because it wasn't that far from where I lived when we first moved
down. And back then that neighborhood was doggy. That was the kind of neighborhood that you were playing with your life. Now they've cleaned it up completely and there's all kinds of businesses now all throughout Biscayne from downtown up. So it's become like a different area from back in those days when it was kind of an ugly situation. All right. So this matchup, is this one, what would you be concerned about if you're a Dolphins fan? What should they be concerned about this week against the Browns?
Well, I think you look at the Browns team, and the first thing that would jump out is the running game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But here's the thing, though. If you look at what the Dolphins have done against the run, and I asked Josh Boyer that question this morning of like how he would evaluate the running game, the run defense as a whole, because to me it's been really, really good, except if you eliminate the 3 really long runs, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, and Dalvin Cook. And 2 of those are scrambles by the quarterback, and I don't think Jacoby Brissett's going to run 50 yards on the Dolphins anytime they play. And the Dalvin Cook to me was kind of situational because it was at the end of the game where the Dolphins really needed to stop, so they stacked the line and he got through, and then there's nobody back there because everybody's up. So, but other than that, you look at their run defense, and he's been really good. So I think the Dolphins are equipped to get the job done against that Cleveland running game, even though it's good. And the Cleveland defense has been spotty, but it's coming off a really good game against Cincinnati, and I'm winning that game. And now they're coming off a bye. So it's going to be a tougher challenge for the offense than Chicago or Detroit were.
Wilson obviously made a seamless transition like all these San Fran guys have done so far. What did you see in the film with Chubb? Because, with him, obviously he's joining a new team and a new scheme and all that kind of stuff. So there isn't going to be a seamless transition for him. I kind of got to expect a little rough edges there overall. So what did you see in the film this week, and what do they got to do to get him more incorporated? Because it's clear that they needed to go get another pass rusher because that secondary needs some help. So they got to go get more pressure so you don't expose it. And I would imagine that's why you also wanted to add a guy like Chubb. So the 2-part question is, what did you see from him this week, and what do you think they need to do to get a little more out of him?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I actually was more impressed when I rewatched the game than when I watched it live. When I watched it live, I was like, dude didn't do anything. Right. And then you rewatch and it's like, yeah, there are a few times when he got around, beat his guy, and got fairly close. He didn't get, I don't think he ever got a hand on Fields, but he got close a couple of times. And again, I want to say, yeah, the transition should have been seamless, and it was pretty seamless. But it's still a game like 4 days after he comes to South Florida. So I certainly wouldn't make any grandiose declarations about him off of one game.
Is it almost unfair too, Alan, because you don't face a freak like Fields every week? So he kind of makes everybody look stupid, and when he's playing like he played on Sunday, you just got to tip your hat to that guy and say, holy shit, dude, you were lights out, you were unstoppable.
No, and the proof of that is you tell me the last time you remember a AFC or the NFC Player of the Week at either offense, defense, or special teams from a losing team. They gave it to Fields. That tell you, I mean,
Wow.
dude was balling.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't recall the last time that's ever been done. And it's like the Dolphins have had some great performances and losses, and automatically it's like, well, he's not going to get it. He should get it, but he's not going to get it because they lost. It just doesn't happen. I saw somebody tweet out that it was the first time it ever has happened. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. Anyway, the guy was brilliant, and that's the thing with these types of quarterbacks like that. If they're playing well, and especially if they're passing well, there are a couple of passes where Fields was kind of all over the place, but he also had a lot of really good throws. And like, for example, if Lamar Jackson's on his game throwing the ball, I mean, good luck dealing with him. That is one bitch of an assignment when you got the guys operating on both ends, and Fields was really, really good. So I don't know that I go crazy about, man, they played bad defense. They played bad defense. They didn't play great defense, but tip your hat, like you said, tip your hat to Justin Fields.
Yeah, dude, you gotta do it. Are you calling a restaurant or something? Is your order ready, or what's going on there?
I'm getting dings from messages because my laptop's linked to my phone, and I'm not technologically advanced enough to know how to turn it off. So you'll have to forgive me.
I gotta give props to a national service today. I showed this to Marcel. I'm sure you saw this already. And you watched the kid. We've all watched the kid, and we've been very impressed at his rise from Division II Texas A&M Commerce. But what did you think this week, where CBS put him at number 6 in the rookie power rankings? And there's a bunch of first and second round picks in there. They're supposed to be on that list. Some dude from Division II that's undrafted is not supposed to be on that list, Alan. What the hell is this?
No, he's been very good. I don't know about 6, and I haven't studied all rookies around. Damian Pierce is a complete beast. I don't. No offense, I don't know how you put Cater over him, but that aside, he's been really, really impressive. And the thing that's jumped out at me the most is his tackling ability. I mean, that the kid tackles. That's been really, really impressive. In fact, I'm not sure I've been impressed by a cornerback this quickly in terms of his tackling ability since Vontae Davis.
Okay. I like that. Vontae was always willing to get his nose dirty. You're right about that. And as I told Marcel when we brought this up, he's built, to take punishment, to give punishment, because that's the one thing you look at Cater. He's not built like your average Division II player. He's already got an NFL body on him. Yep. And that's one thing that I've been impressed with. As you know, lots of these guys, they don't really end up coming in with an NFL body. They kind of have to develop it. There are those freaks, obviously, and he seems to be like a kid that, dude, yep. He's well built.
Yeah, he's thick. No, and the only thing that worried, when I saw him in training camp, and then I mentioned this, the only thing that worried about me is he had a tendency to be handsy, and that's not really been a major problem so far. So no, dude, I mean, a rookie undrafted free agent, you can't ask for more than that.
I'm with you there. All right. Offensive line, Jackson getting back into the mix. It sounded this week like the coaches, I forgot which, I think it was the offensive coordinator or the O-line coach. I forgot which one it was. And it says that in the end, we're going to play the best 5.
It's Frank Smith.
It was Frank Smith. Okay. That kind of sounds to me that we're not making any changes yet, right? Because this is a line that hasn't allowed a sack in 2 weeks, I believe.
If they may have had a couple. I will tell you this. No, I don't think they make a change, and he hasn't practiced enough anyway. He didn't practice yesterday. He was limited today. I will tell you this. The few times Tua was pressured Sunday, it looked to me like it came from Brandon Shell's side. Okay. I know there was one play specifically where he got beat very quickly at the line. There was another play where I don't know whose fault it was, but the defender got between Shell and Robert Hunt and had a free run. And those were the only 2 occasions. But for the most part, Shell has played well. Jackson's not ready anyway. I'd be shocked if he was active.
What do you know about Byron, bro?
I know. I'd like to know more. I mean,
I love the reaction.
It's just so weird. It's just so weird. And I mean, because the possibilities are, there are a bunch of them out there. Did the Dolphins overestimate how quickly he could come back? Were there setbacks?
There have been setbacks.
Mike McDaniel, well, I think that would go against what McDaniel has said publicly.
Anybody going to tell you that he's going to get fired? Flores or something? Anybody going to tell you that Flores hates Tua and didn't want him? No. But I'll tell you, he's had some issues, a hamstring. He's had some stuff on his way back and trying, from what I'm hearing, that he's had some stuff. It's not a Will Fuller thing, like I've mentioned many, many times.
No,
he seems to be very particular about how he comes back. And he's had a ding here, a ding there, a setback there, a setback here. And he's the guy that will not play if he's not, pretty much close to 100%. And I think he's also doing that, like I've mentioned now for several weeks. I think he's doing business with the Dolphins right now. And I believe he will come back. But I believe he's going to come back towards the back end for a couple games because he has to showcase his skills for free agency. So at least it'll benefit the Dolphins that you get him back and you can make your playoff run with him. But I think he's doing business, bro. I really do. At least from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and then certainly wouldn't surprise me. He wouldn't be the first guy. And here's the thing. I'm fully expecting to make I'm fully expecting the Dolphins to make the playoffs with or without Byron Jones. If they get a healthy 100% Byron Jones in the playoffs, that changes that defense. And I hate to pin it on just one guy, but that changes that defense in a big way.
Well, you live Madison and Surtain. You know what the hell you're talking about.
Exactly.
You lived it. You know exactly what you're talking about. What two corners do for you. And Cater, I think, will then go to a really more natural position for him because I love his athleticism in the slot. And he showed it against Mark Andrews in that Baltimore game where he got up there and was able to defend the pass because, again, he's physical. He's got strength to him, and he's got athleticism. And so I like him in the slot, too. If you bring back Byron, I think it makes your secondary so much better, not just because of Byron, but because I think Cater really belongs there at that slot side. That's just me.
I agree. It's a good point.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool. All right. Defensively, what besides stopping the run, which is the obvious thing, who's the guy that has got to have that big game?
X. I mean,
wow.
Big time.
Okay. I thought it was going to be Raekwon or Sealer or something. I thought you were going to go in the line or something. What? Explain.
No, because I think, like I said, collectively, I'm not. Chubb's going to get his yards because he's too good, and they're going to feed him the ball, so he's going to get some yards. As long as they don't give him like a 60-yard run or whatever, I think they'll be okay. Amari Cooper is a guy who could be problematic in the passing game, and X really hasn't been on his game. I looked it up today. The passer rating against him when he's targeted this season is 129.4.
I know it's bad.
That's brutal. And I understand he had some groin issues that slowed him down, but he hasn't been great. He also doesn't have a pick on the season. I know he had the one against the Bears that got called back with the offsetting penalties, but
they openly attack him now. Openly.
They're not quite as afraid as they were. They're not quite as afraid as they were. And again, he's given them opponents reason for that. And I think the Dolphins, and eventually if the Dolphins are going to make some noise in the playoffs, they will need X to be X. And again, Amari Cooper could be a problem if X is not on his game. Because again, even if he's lined up, if the Dolphins don't shadow him with X, if he lines up at Kader Kohu, Amari Cooper can run some routes.
Oh, he's one of 5 best in the NFL at running routes.
So Kader Kohu's going to get an education and defending a guy who can run routes. So X needs to be on his game. Well,
I'd rather Cater than Noah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Cater. You'd rather have Cater than X. I was like, whoa.
No. I'm just glad Cater's out there, not Noah, because that poor kid, when it comes to route running, he still hasn't figured out the double move yet. Oh, he still bites on that double move every single time, pretty much. But Cater, I can't say enough about that kid.
I hate to say it, but Cooper would turn Noah every which way.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I've given up on Noah turning into anything. It's better. You're better focusing on Kohu and then getting Needham and Trill back next year. Those are the young guys that I want you to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Noah, whatever, bro. He tries. He's a good kid. That's the other thing. You know what? If you're Preston Williams and you're a lazy ass and you show some ignorance to at times with what you're saying at the podium, I don't have a lot of sympathy for a guy like that. I do have sympathy for Noah because he's actually a good dude that really wants to play and play well, and he works hard at it. It's just, brother, it's just not happening. That's all.
No, and here's the thing I would tell you, though. If and when the time comes when the Dolphins let him go, I would suspect because of his character that some other team's going to give him a shot. And then if you notice, don't see Preston Williams on any roster right now.
No, of course not, bro.
Even practice squad.
Right. No, I know. And it is what it is. All right. What's the prediction? What would you tell the investment folks out there if the Dolphins are favored by 4, the over and under is 49? Not that, you're here to give investment advice, but you're a sports fan. What would you say about that line?
I would say, considering Cleveland's coming off a bye and a major win, and considering the Dolphins came away with wins at Detroit and Chicago, but by 4 and by 3 points, I would be very careful about laying the points. That's what I would say from an investment standpoint, for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. That's all it is. That's all it is. We're not saying anything. We're just saying pure entertainment. That's it. Everyone else has to go about their own business and do their own homework if they're going to do any kind of investing in there. All right, what do you got going on alldolphins.com? As we tell you every week, you are not a real Dolphin fan if you do not bookmark alldolphins.com. It is the law. What do you got?
Oh, I have 3 things posted already today, and I'm going to do a notebook later on. And the 3 things I have was a second half outlook as part of the midseason reports I've been doing this week. Also, very, very interesting Sam Madison comments today from his media session on X, on the aforementioned Kato Kohu, and on the Keon Crossan play on the non-called DPI. Yeah, they came up with a very interesting nugget on that.
I saw that.
And then that was good. And then right before I came on, I hit publish on, also as part of the midseason report, the top 10 plays of the first half of the season, which I'm sure everybody will agree with.
And I doubt Tyreek Hill is on any of those.
I can't tell.
Right? No. He hasn't done anything all year. I mean, what a slacker. That guy's stealing money. What's his name? Kyle Lowry or something? Come on.
No Tua, no Tyreek, no Waddle.
Exactly. That's it. That's what it is. It's all Tanner Connor plays. The top 10 Tanner Connor plays of the year.
You've spoiled it. A Hunter Long play.
There you go. Tanner Connor and Hunter Long. There you go. That's a reel we all want to watch right there. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And, of course, bookmark alldolphins.com. He'll be writing about Tua making an MVP run here in the second half of the season. You will see. Alain, thank you as always. Enjoy the weekend, my brother. We'll catch up on Monday.
Right back at you. Have a great weekend.
You got it. There you go. Alain Poupart. Yes, sir. alldolphins.com, Sports Illustrated, ejdconstruction.com, 305-433-4843. And by the way, full contractor. Eric is amazing. And now he's been working on several of your roofs because we've been talking about this now for the last month or two. And listeners are calling at 305-433-4843. Why? Because they're finding out in South Florida, they're calling their insurance company, your house is a little too old. The roof is not up to date. You need to update that roof. And that's what ejdconstruction.com is doing all over South Florida, upgrading these roofs and getting them to code so the insurance companies can give you the policy that you need to protect you for the next year. So call them, 305-433-4843. You're looking to do any kind of construction in your home. Maybe you had a fire. You need to remediate everything. They do it all. Full contractor, fully insured, liability and workers' comp. Please do not hire anybody that is not fully insured. I wouldn't even put a sponsor on this platform that isn't fully insured. If you're not fully insured, you're not going on this platform because you're not protecting the clients. EJD Construction, people like Cutter's Edge Pro, they protect the clients by carrying the insurance for their employees. So if they get injured on your property, they're not suing you. And that's very important. 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com.
This is the Big